Why has Angie Dickinson remained silent about the shocking sex scandal of 1965 even to this day? Angie Dickinson, a symbol of eternal beauty and intense allure, not only left the world in awe with her seductive curves, but also earned public respect for the bravery of a woman who once endured deep emotional wounds. She once stood up against an entire system of power simply because she refused a physical relationship with a man to protect her own dignity. She once loved with all her heart and later chose solitude as a path to heal her soul. So who was that man, and what did she go through to achieve the success she has today? Don't take your eyes off the screen as we show you rare photos and untold stories of her. And meanwhile, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new untold stories about Hollywood stars. Smash that like button and hit the notification bell. Angie Dickinson was born on September 30th, 1931 in the small town of Cole, North Dakota, USA. The second of three sisters, she grew up in a German-American family with strict Roman Catholic values. Her father, Leo Henry Brown, was a local newspaper editor and publisher. He also ran the town's only movie theater, which planted the seed of a deep love for cinema in young Angie's heart. In 1942, when Angie was 10 years old, the Brown family moved to Burbank, California, a pivotal decision for the movie-obsessed little girl's future. There, Angie attended Bellarmine Jefferson High School and graduated in 1947 at just 15 years old. Even as a child, Angie demonstrated sharp intelligence and outstanding talent. She entered a local beauty pageant on a whim and ended up as a finalist in the 1953 Miss America preliminary competition. Her appearance, along with her natural beauty and striking charm, quickly captured the attention of audiences and film producers alike. Angie Dickinson began her acting career quietly and humbly in 1954. She made her debut in Lucky Me by Warner Brothers and later took on small supporting roles in Western films such as The Return of Jack Slade, Man with the Gun, and Hidden Guns. However, her first leading role in Gun the Man Down, 1956, alongside James Arnes, marked the first time audiences took notice of her natural, alluring, and captivating screen presence. Unlike Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield, Hollywood's reigning sex symbols at the time, Angie Dickinson deliberately stayed away from that overtly seductive image. Studios once dyed her naturally brown hair to a honey blonde. But deep down, Angie knew that if she allowed herself to be turned into a sexual object, her career would never go far. Instead, she chose her own path, a persona that was sharp, independent, and strong. The biggest turning point in Angie's career came in 1959, when she played the role of Feathers in Howard Hawks' blockbuster Rio Bravo, starring alongside her childhood idols John Wayne and Dean Martin. As a seductive and daring gambler, Angie brought to life a rare type of female character for the time. Sensual without being sexualized, strong yet unmistakably feminine. The film was a massive success, and Angie became one of the most sought-after names in Hollywood. In 1960, Angie Dickinson entered the peak of her career, taking on a series of impressive roles. She starred in Ocean's 11 alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, two of her close friends in real life. She showcased her range by portraying a nurse, a missionary, a cunning woman, and other complex characters in films such as The Sins of Rachel Cade, Rome Adventure, Jessica, and Captain Newman, M.D. with Gregory Peck. However, behind the spotlight were wounds that never fully healed. When director Howard Hawks secretly sold her personal contract to another studio without her consent, Angie felt deeply betrayed. Still, she rose above it all, determined never to let anyone else control her life. In 1974, she was cast as Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in the TV drama Policewoman. The show didn't just catapult Angie to new levels of fame, it became a groundbreaking cultural phenomenon in American television during the 1970s. She played Sergeant Pepper Anderson, an undercover officer in the Los Angeles Police Department's Criminal Conspiracy Unit. With her piercing eyes, warm voice, and confident stride, Pepper became a new kind of icon. The first woman to lead the charge in action TV, paving the way for future heroines. After the dazzling success of Policewoman, Angie Dickinson's film career seemed to be fading. But in 1980, she stunned Hollywood with an unforgettable comeback in Brian De Palma's controversial, erotic thriller, Dressed to Kill. In it, Angie portrayed Kate Miller, a sexually frustrated housewife desperate to break free from the confines of her marriage. With no dialogue, no unnecessary gestures, just one long, silent sequence inside a museum, Angie delivered pure cinematic magic. The performance earned her the Saturn Award for Best Actress and proved that even at 50, she could still set the screen ablaze with her gaze, boldness, and a haunting sense of longing. The New York Times praised her performance as mesmerizing, and audiences agreed. Angie Dickinson was back. Yet during this same period, she turned down the role of Crystal Carrington in Dynasty, a series that would go on to become a television phenomenon, to spend more time with her autistic daughter. She later also said no to the role of Sable Colby in The Call, a high-profile spin-off. These were decisions made with love, but they also brought regret, especially as her star slowly dimmed amid a wave of rising female stars in the 1980s. Still, beyond her dazzling career, Angie faced her share of shocking sex scandals. One night at a Beverly Hills mansion, it wasn't just a party night. It was the night Angie Dickinson lost what was considered a woman's most precious possession. In the summer of 1965, Beverly Hills reeked of champagne, Chanel No. 5 perfume, and lust-labeled fashionable. Hollywood's elite gathered at the Whitstone mansion of powerful producer JL, the man behind the biggest dreams and the most terrible falls in the film industry. It was rumored that he was the player who once held the career and the fate of Marilyn Monroe in his hands before her downfall. Angie Dickinson entered the scene like a blazing red lightning bolt. Her satin dress clung to her figure, the plunging neckline revealing her porcelain skin. She didn't need to speak, didn't need to smile. Just her presence drew all eyes to her. But that very night, destiny shifted, and silence began to speak. The party continued until JL whispered something in her ear. An invitation or a command, it was hard to tell. Angie nodded, her eyes slightly wavering. She followed him upstairs to a mahogany door, ironically called the director's room. An hour later, Angie came down. Her face was pale. Her mascara was smudged into 2 streaks of dried tears. Her silk jacket was torn at one shoulder. And most frightening of all, she said nothing. No one asked. Those who witnessed it, an Oscar-winning star, a renowned director, a famous screenwriter, all turned away because they knew to ask was to break the unwritten rules of Hollywood. Here, fame is not given freely. It is exchanged for blood, flesh, and silence. The waiter that day, the only one who dared to recount the events after leaving the entertainment industry, said she wasn't like the Angie of a few hours earlier. It was as if a part of her had been left behind on that second floor. The following week, Angie abruptly canceled her leading role in a major film, citing mental exhaustion. The press fabricated all sorts of stories: love affairs, illness, conflicts with the director. But no one asked what happened in JL's room. There were no accusations. No one dared to investigate. There was only one truth. From that night onwards, Angie Dickinson changed. She became more cautious. She smiled less. And she absolutely avoided any questions related to private parties. One party night, one room, one moment of silence, and a price that for the rest of her career, Angie never dared to publicly reveal the person who had assaulted her. 3 months later, Angie received 3 major scripts from 3 top studios. One of them was The Bramble Bush, marking a stunning comeback and launching a streak of high-profile roles that lasted nearly a decade. Everyone thought she had made it, but no one knew. Behind that miracle was a hush money agreement worth over $2 million paid out in 3 installments with a strict clause attached. Any mention, direct or indirect, of coercion, assault, blackmail, or threats is strictly prohibited. The contract was locked away in a Hollywood lawyer's safe, backed up in just 2 encrypted copies, disguised as a financial transaction. The other party who signed it, one of the biggest names in the industry, still shining bright on the Walk of Fame to this day. From that point on, she began to destroy herself quietly but consistently. After every shoot, she sat alone in her hotel room, pouring hard liquor like it was water. Every time a romance began to bloom, she tore it apart with coldness and chaos. Once she flat out rejected a $1 million role just because the director had eyes that looked like the man's from that night. The price of silence was $2 million, but the cost she carried inside was a lifetime spent paying it off. No one knows exactly what happened in that room, But from then on, Angie Dickinson became a symbol of the kind of tragedy Hollywood is so skilled at hiding. Fame never comes free, and the truth always comes at a price paid in blood, in tears, and in silence that lasts until the very end. In 1952, Angie Dickinson entered her first marriage with Gene Dickinson, a football player who later transitioned into the electronics industry. Although they separated after just 4 years, it wasn't until 1960 that they officially divorced. By then, the name Dickinson had become so deeply tied to her screen persona that Angie decided to keep it as an indelible part of her identity. But the most talked about and also the most painful marriage was to musical genius Burt Bacharach. They wed in 1965 during the peak of both their careers. Their 16 years together were mostly marked by silence and distance. Toward the end, both engaged in extramarital affairs, and Angie once admitted it was a beautiful marriage on paper, but lonely in the heart. The greatest pain came on July 12th, when she gave birth to her only daughter, Nikki Bacharach. Nikki suffered from severe autism and underwent years of therapy. Ultimately, she took her own life in 2007. Nikki's death cut deep into Angie. Though she had always been strong, she never truly recovered from that heartbreak. Beyond her official marriages, Angie also had relationships with several well-known men, such as musician Billy Vera in the 1980s, even appearing in one of his music videos. In the 1990s, she dated famed talk show host Larry King, a quiet but long-lasting relationship they kept largely private. However, in a bombshell revelation in 2023, Angie confirmed that she had a secret 20-year love affair with the legendary Frank Sinatra. She called him the true love of my life and spoke of him with affection, even as they both aged. The romance was never public during their lifetimes, but it remained the most beautiful secret she kept for herself over the decades. Though considered a beauty icon, Angie never aligned herself with the image of a Hollywood doll. She was a woman of conviction, actively campaigning for John F. Kennedy and Lyndon B. Johnson, standing firm in her political beliefs just as she did in life. Strong, fierce, and unapologetically uncompromising, a street in San Antonio, Texas, bears her name. But the life of Angie Dickinson, filled with tragedy and love, could never be confined to any single road. In 1942, when Angie was 10 years old, the Brown family moved to Burbank, California, a pivotal decision for the movie-obsessed little girl's future. There, Angie attended Bellarmine Jefferson High School and graduated in 1947 at just 15 years old. Even as a child, Angie demonstrated sharp intelligence and outstanding talent. She entered a local beauty pageant on a whim and ended up as a finalist in the 1953 Miss America preliminary competition. Her appearance, along with her natural beauty and striking charm, quickly captured the attention of audiences and film producers alike. Angie Dickinson began her acting career quietly and humbly in 1954. She made her debut in Lucky Me by Warner Brothers and later took on small supporting roles in Western films such as The Return of Jack Slade, Man with the Gun, and Hidden Guns. However, her first leading role in Gun the Man Down, 1956, alongside James Arnes, marked the first time audiences took notice of her natural, alluring, and captivating screen presence. Unlike Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield, Hollywood's reigning sex symbols at the time, Angie Dickinson deliberately stayed away from that overtly seductive image. Studios once dyed her naturally brown hair to a honey blonde. But deep down, Angie knew that if she allowed herself to be turned into a sexual object, her career would never go far. Instead, she chose her own path, a persona that was sharp, independent, and strong. The biggest turning point in Angie's career came in 1959 when she played the role of Feathers in Howard Hawks' blockbuster Rio Bravo, starring alongside her childhood idols John Wayne and Dean Martin. As a seductive and daring gambler, Angie brought to life a rare type of female character for the time. Sensual without being sexualized, strong yet unmistakably feminine. The film was a massive success, and Angie became one of the most sought-after names in Hollywood. In 1960, Angie Dickinson entered the peak of her career, taking on a series of impressive roles. She starred in Ocean's 11 alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, two of her close friends in real life. She showcased her range by portraying a nurse, a missionary, a cunning woman, and other complex characters in films such as The Sins of Rachel Cade, Rome Adventure, Jessica, and Captain Newman, M.D. with Gregory Peak. However, behind the spotlight were wounds that never fully healed. When director Howard Hawks secretly sold her personal contract to another studio without her consent, Angie felt deeply betrayed. Still, she rose above it all, determined never to let anyone else control her life. In 1974, she was cast as Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in the TV drama Policewoman. The show didn't just catapult Angie to new levels of fame. It became a groundbreaking cultural phenomenon in American television during the 1970s. She played Sergeant Pepper Anderson, an undercover officer in the Los Angeles Police Department's Criminal Conspiracy Unit. With her piercing eyes, warm voice, and confident stride, Pepper became a new kind of icon, the first woman to lead the charge in action TV, paving the way for future heroines. After the dazzling success,